What's going on, y'all? Today we got Charles Barkley was right about Kevin Durant. Let's get into it, man. See what's up.
I try to tell y'all, all these bus riders,
What's
they don't mean
up?
nothing to me. If you
I can't hear now, y'all.
don't walk around talking about you, I try to tell y'all, all
Are
these
we
bus
good now?
riders, they don't mean nothing to me.
My
If you
fault.
driving the bus, don't walk around talking about you a champion. If you riding the bus, I don't want to hear it. Come on, Shaq, tell them. All these guys walk around with these championship rings. Hey, y'all bus riders. But let me tell you something. When you the bus driver and you got all that pressure when you have to play well or you going to get the blame, that's a different animal.
The legacy of one Kevin Durant has many twists, turns, and just flat out surprises that will floor you. But I don't think anyone could have expected his career post Golden State would turn out like this. As looking back at the 2018 finals, after winning his second straight championship, as was MVP, if you asked me in that moment, would KD after that have at least one championship, I would have said, of course. And the idea of him having zero in the next 5 years, I would have called you crazy on the spot and you committed to a mental hospital. As back in 2018,
So, so that shit uncut. I'm saying, I ain't gonna lie, I pushed my beef aside. You know what I'm saying? I got a little beef with you because you be so crazy sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But it's good though. You know what I'm saying? I push that to the side.
Top of the world. And one championship then would be the bare minimum of expectations, with two being fairly likely. Now, unfortunately for Kevin Durant, the past 5 years have been an absolute nightmare with awful luck, injuries, and teammates. As joining Kyrie in Brooklyn, I would say in hindsight, was his first mistake. And both those guys having input on the coach, the roster, and basically being pseudo GMs with a death knell for that team. As both Kyrie and Kevin Durant on record signed off on James Harden and getting that trade from Houston. And with that trade, they gutted their depth, their shooting, and really all their defense, giving up Jarrett Allen as well as Karis LeVert. And as you guys know, that trio played roughly 10 games together for a dumpster fire and not successful in the NBA playoffs. So what happened a year later? James Harden once again was traded, this time to Philly, for the immortal Ben Simmons. And look, Ben Simmons is inept and awful NBA player. And he's so bad at this point, Team Australia doesn't want him on their Olympic team. And look, the big three duo of Ben
Nah,
Simmons,
that's different.
Kevin Durant,
That's
Kyrie.
that's damn near disrespect. He's in the is he in the NBA still? I don't even know. But he's in the NBA, man, and I've been trying to pick him up for the national team for his country. Disrespectful.
That team still had high expectations.
And it's not like he's been playing good, so
playoff run.
it's not really
But per
disrespectful.
usual, they were all
But,
hurt, either not
you know.
playing or playing poorly. So what happened? Kevin Durant yet again tried to jump ship, this time being traded to the Phoenix Suns. And by being traded to Phoenix, that move brought tons of hype. In the media's eyes, this Suns team was the favorite to make the NBA Finals, having Kevin Durant, Booker, CP3, and Ayton. At the very least, that team and that core should have made the Western Conference Finals. And them not doing that is indeed a massive failure and not a step toward success. And before I forget, Kevin Durant, since Golden State, has won a total of 2 playoff series. One in Brooklyn and one in Phoenix. For a
Sheesh.
player of Kevin Durant's caliber, that is pretty pathetic. And what has transpired the past 5 years, in my view and many, has proven Charles Barkley 100% right about Kevin Durant. As back a year ago, he was calling Kevin Durant a bus rider and the weakest superstar of all time. And one thing Charles echoed that many agreed with was that KD and Golden State were not the MVP or the leader of that team. And look, I agree with that. Yes, he won the MVPs in the finals, but the best overall player, most valuable, it was always Steph Curry.
Steph Curry, man, we know
and
that.
Kevin Durant himself said, back in Golden State, even OKC, you could argue, he was not the leader of those teams. And when you get bounced by Giannis, Tatum, and Jokic in 3 straight years, while Steph Curry, your former teammate, is winning championships, and LeBron James, your rival, won a championship himself, and is now back in the West Finals, that is not a good look for you if you're KD. And one thing I do fear for Kevin Durant, when his career is finally over, the overall narrative around him will be that he wasn't a leader and he wasn't the guy on championship teams. Now look, he still has time to change that, but that narrative is going to stick with him.
Time is running thin, very narrow. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, the time is getting cut every day by day, bro. Really, you got to do that next season if you go. You know what I'm saying?
As LeBron James,
it's not looking good.
Steph Curry, Giannis, even Kawhi got championships or a championship as the man of their team and the most valuable asset. And beyond those traits, what we've seen from Kevin Durant on the basketball court in the playoffs, for Kevin Durant standards, has been pretty lackluster these past 2 years. As both for Boston and Denver, physical defense getting his airspace bothered Kevin Durant tremendously. In Oklahoma City, especially Golden State, we not once saw that in a playoff series. As looking at versus Denver, for the entire series, he shot 22% from behind the arc. And the final 2 games of this series, he averaged 24.5 points, 4.5 turnovers on 42% shooting the field,
Sheesh.
0% from 3.
Yeah, he wasn't.
And in Game 6,
He wasn't helping out too much, man.
When it was over at halftime, at half, Kevin Durant had 8 points on 2 of 11 shooting.
Yeah,
Game
it was
6
ugly.
versus Denver, that game was dead at half.
Devin Booker was really doing his thing, though. Had some all-time great performances in this playoff run, man. I ain't gonna lie. He was really trying to hold it down for the Suns, but he just didn't get the help from his other cool players, like bro said, like CP3 missing in action, DeAndre Ayton, he didn't even look like he wanted to be out there. KD not dropping, turning over the ball. It was ugly. Jokic was having his way.
Playing awful. And for the entire series, he was easily the 3rd best player on the court, behind Jokic and Booker. And quite frankly, it wasn't even close.
Facts.
Watching Kevin Durant in the post-Steph Curry era, you realize how back in Golden State, it was just so easy for him to score. It was almost spot-up shooting and going one-on-one. I'm not here to overpraise Steph Curry or discredit Kevin Durant. It's simply reality. Steph Curry's gravity, the attention he demands, it's out of this world at a LeBron James, Jokic type level. And when you have Kevin Durant, at worst a top 3 player, inserted on that team, it's a cheat code and just unfair for the NBA. And looking back at Charles Barkley and his comments, you can call him a hater, say he goes overboard, say whatever you want. But his actual message, what he's saying, is it really wrong? Objectively speaking,
I don't think so.
Is a top 15 player in NBA history. But at this point, with his whole body of work, I would argue, he's more of a great offensive weapon than a great number 1. Someone like a Dominique Wilkins or Carmelo, more than a Kobe or LeBron. As both Kobe and LeBron, they were great players like Kevin Durant, but they had leadership qualities that transcended that great play. It may sound harsh, but KD admittedly is not a leader. And things like that...
Nah, that's a fact. That's not even the first time I heard that. I heard that from many different people. Heard many people quote him on that. Like, yeah, he definitely said that.
From him, someone like Steph Curry, LeBron, and the all-time greats. And to nail this point home, outside of Golden State, Kevin Durant has played 12 total seasons. In those 12 years, he's produced a single finals win. Ironically, in his first ever finals game. In over a decade stretch, minus Steph Curry, the best point guard, Klay Thompson, top 25 player, Draymond, the best defender, and Steve Curry, top 3 coach, his resume is pretty slim picking in terms of team success. And KD being 34 going 35, being injury prone. This is the end of the line
Yup.
for the Kevin Durant era and his
That's a
prime
fact.
basketball player. He's still a top 10 player in the league, a great offensive talent, but
Of course.
being that guy on a championship team who can carry you to the West Finals, the NBA Finals, at this point, it is sad to say it, but he's just too old, too injury prone.
Bro. It's just
Even Denver was too.
you can see it's just not. It's not. He's not the same KD, bro. He's not the same KD, bro. He's not. I ain't gonna lie. He's not.
This guy, for his entire career, even now, was one of my favorite players. And it is sad seeing him go out like this. Kind of like I don't know what you call it, going out on a low note, I guess. It is really sad to see Kevin Durant going out like this. And for the Phoenix team, they're really...
It ain't over till it's over, y'all. That's one thing about it, though. It ain't over till it's over.
He's not getting traded.
Career not over yet.
He's getting paid $30 million, and the free agent class is meh at best. Given that context, and Phoenix's depth being lackluster, the only way they fix this is by trading DeAndre Ayton for an absolute haul. But the problem is, DeAndre Ayton the past 2 years has been proven as a flawed player in the NBA playoffs. So, unfortunately, Kevin Durant, once again, has boxed himself on a team that is top-heavy, not defensive, and aging fast. Best of luck to Kevin Durant and Suns fans, but at this point, Charles Barkley has been proven right time and time again about this dude. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.
That's the end of this one, y'all. Charles Barkley was right about Kevin Durant, man. He's just not a he doesn't want to be a leader, as he said. He's not a leader. Yeah, man. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about this one. Turn on post notifications. Click on the last reaction, and I'm out of here, man.